changing the oil cooler on your 2017 ProMaster. There are some other videos out there by Motor City Mechanic, Nuts and Bolts of Tone, ProMasters Only, where they made some really good videos on how to complete this job. My van has a small oil leak. If you have an oil leak, I'm sure you're going to investigate this part of your vehicle. And I had stuck a zip tie down in the valley where the oil cooler lives. It came out very wet. As I was taking it apart and actually got in there, I did not find a pool of oil, but there was a couple other indications that I could go ahead and do this job. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of information about it, and basically there is so much grime and wetness underneath it. It looks like maybe it was leaking at some point, or maybe there was a slow leak. There was also some, like, basically looked like glue between the oil cooler housing and the top of the housing. So I went ahead and replaced it anyway. I talk about it a little bit more in the video. I'm not really sure that I had to. If you have an oil leak and you're looking at this, definitely do the best you can to investigate that valley area before taking it apart, because that might not actually be what you're looking for. But apparently this is a part that fails all the time. I went and talked to a local mechanic, and he said that he rips those things out there all the time, which is one of the reasons I also went ahead and replaced it while I was in there, even though there wasn't a huge pool that was like, you definitely need to replace this right now. So anyways, yeah, I would check any of those other 3 videos out if you're going to go for this job. I just wanted to try making this video because I really enjoy watching the videos like this that people make. So, you know, if someone out there watches this and it helps them out, that'd be cool. Yeah, thanks for watching. It's like 4 screws. After you get those screws off, you kind of like have to lift up and pull out. It's held in by, I think, these things. There's this part of the grill. I think there's just 2 star or T30 bolts, I think, under here. And there's like a bunch of them here. And then there's these 2 red ones. I don't know, they might be mixed up. I'm not really sure, but... Correction, there's actually 3 down here. Yeah, that piece easily comes off without pulling it. So you don't have to pull it off like the other one. But anyways, now there's this part, which the first time I took it off, I got kind of confused. So the second time I took it off, I made a lot of markings. There's like these bolts, and someone had told me that, you know, mark this right here so you know where it was. And oh yeah, another thing is when you take this coolant bottle off, you want to get the coolant bottle back on. This weaves through it. So if you put it back together and you put this together before this thing's on, you have to undo it and redo it again. So when you're putting it back together, put this thing on first. Yeah, that thing slips out of there and then it's unclips somehow. You push down, pull up. Get that out of the way. Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if these actually go in here, but I have them in there. Also, I don't know if I said earlier, but these 4 bolts right here, they are 10 millimeter. These hose clamps are 5/16. I don't even think I'm gonna take that one off. This thing is kind of annoying to put, well, take off, but even worse, putting it back together, it seems like. Yeah, that's a 10 millimeter there. So yeah, you gotta crack that thing, and that thing. But I'll probably take this thing out first. There's basically one here, one here. These 4 10 millimeters, one here, and one there. There's also a 10 millimeter somewhere back there. Mine doesn't have it, thankfully, because it seems kind of annoying to get out. Also, this thing had a bolt in here, but the first time I took it out, I've just been using zip ties because you really got to like press up on this to get it out. I don't know. I guess if you're doing it the first time, maybe you would want to loosen this part up. But yeah, ever since I took them out, I've just been zip tying them back in. It doesn't. These 3 bolts in here seem to be pretty sturdy. So, yep. Then you pull this thing out. So yeah, these things are removed now. There's 3 back there. There's this one here. I don't think you even have to take that off. Let's check. But yeah, last time I was putting it together, I got kind of confused about this thing. This lip right here, sits on this. Uh-oh, what's still holding it in? What's still holding it in? Oh yeah, there's this hose that goes down here. Alright, yank it out, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I dropped the nut when I was removing it, and then it went down this hose, which just goes down to your wheel well. If you pull this hose out, your nut will probably be in there, or I think it will go to the ground. I'm not really sure. And yeah, here's that last one. It's on the outside of it. I'm guessing you need a pretty good extension to get to that. Yeah, when you're pulling this thing out, I think this is kind of like the first piece to come out, and then you might be able to pop this out. Yeah, I've lubed it. The first time I tried to take this out, it just did not want to pop out. I'll see if I can get it real quick. But yeah, there's 2 rubber gaskets there, and I put a bunch of slippery stuff on there so it would come out easier because it was stuck last time. And then yeah, and then there's this one. Oh, it's not ready yet. I think you just pull this, you squeeze those 2 together, I think. Yeah, you just squeeze those and it pops off. Get a little bit looser. Whee! Ooh, it's sticky. Oh, and this, take this sensor off. Mine just falls off. I don't know if it's supposed to clip on or what. It comes out. Let's see if there's. Not oily like last time. I cleaned it out, but there's oil in there last time. Yeah, this one just. That one comes off. This one I was saying it pretty much just fell off. What's this thing? It pops off. Okay, so for this one, once you get this part pushed out, you gotta pop that out, and then you want to lift on that. It kind of lifts up. thing comes up. Weave through here. To get this out, I suppose. Oh, there's another clip down here. What's going on with that thing? This one's not a clip. Yeah, so that thing is not a clip. It's, you just pull it off, but you gotta get this thing first. And I think it just pops out. You gotta pop this red part out. Then probably pass on that. Yeah, you just squeeze it and pull. And then I think this thing can be released. And then you can, you know, wire it up here, wrap a wire around it or whatever. Also, I'll talk about this. So yeah, I have these straps attached to here, and this is like, it's like perfect. It like holds it pretty much as much out of the way as it can be. So yeah, thanks for the tip on that. After you get your, basically your wire harness and whatever this hose is wired up out of the way, I think, well, actually, if you've never done this before to your particular vehicle, there's these brackets, right? Here's one of the brackets, and here's the other bracket. And these brackets go down, and bring a light. Let's see. Yeah, there was a guy who made a video on this. Thank you for that. But yeah, there's a 13 millimeter bolt here, and then there's behind it, right? This is another 13 millimeter. It's a double-sided deal. And this one you can, you know, obviously you can get into that one, but this one over here, I was like looking at, I see, you can't see it. Let's see, it's right there. It's pretty hard to see. I was like looking at it, I was like, oh my God, I can't get in there. It's impossible to get in there. You can get in there with a 1/4 inch drive socket, 13 millimeter. Don't, you just, it doesn't seem like you can, but yeah, you can just reach your hand up in here and you can get in there. Oh, you probably need the right extension. You probably need to find a, because this guy had used something else. He uses like some wobble or something down here, and I tried getting it from down here and I couldn't, but then I found out you can pretty much just get in there with your hand in a 1/4 inch, and then you can get that thing. Anyways, they're totally stupid. They suck to get to. So when the first time getting these off, when pretty much my goal was just to get this plenum off, these brackets don't usually have notches here, but I cut some in. I cut one there and one there. Oh, there's also, I don't know if you can see the green mark, that's some type of hose mount. That bolt over here, it broke when I took it off, so I just have a zip tie on it. But yeah, I haven't tested this bracket holes yet, but yeah, that's what I did, because I don't want to take those off again unless I actually have to. Yeah, and there's a bracket back here, but I don't think I'm gonna have to mess with it with those holes. There's, you can see it right there, that's a 13 millimeter, that little mine doesn't, I'm pretty sure that there's supposed to be a nut right there, but, and probably holding that down, but mine didn't come with that because I think someone's obviously been in there before. But this is another double-sided one. If you can loosen that one back there, I think you can tilt this back bracket, which I'll see if I can show you. I marked these. Is that one right there? That little orange spot? No, that's not it. Oh, there's one. That orange nut there. That's part of the back bracket. Which, no. And then the other one's probably harder to see. It's probably back here a bit more. Anyways, there's two back there. And if you loosen that big right there, if you loosen that thing, that bracket will tilt back, and maybe you don't have to take this one off. But yeah, really not fun to get to any of those parts, especially if you've never done it before. Probably be way easier the second time. So yeah, we're gonna loosen this one. See if we can loosen this one. I think I just mostly got them off with my fingers. And yeah, this orange one here is easy to see. I probably ain't gonna be able to get it on video, but there's got to be someone wondering how I was really wondering how it came off. But yeah, it's right there. I'm not gonna do it on video, it's too hard. Let's see if I can feel around and find this other one. Oh, here's the other one right here. Oh, right there. Right back from that point. So after you get those, the orange ones off, I took them off already. There's 4 of them. Well, I didn't take those off actually. They're still sitting there, but I took the 2 off the back. I'm probably gonna tip that back bracket off. I'm not really sure yet, but anyways, there's this bolt here, this bolt here, this bolt here, this bolt here, that one there, and one second. There's one down there. That was the one that was rusted. So that was really fun to take off. And then there's this one. I don't know if you can have, I found, because they wanted $5 for the replacement bolt, and I don't know. So if you're gonna break one of these or it's no good anymore, maybe try to source that thing online for a nice price or something, or be prepared to find a replacement, because yeah, that one was no good anymore. So I'm probably gonna go for this back bracket next and tip it back and see if I can pull this thing off. The first time I pulled it off, I didn't vacuum. I wish I had vacuumed that hole I was working around and just kind of cleaned up a little bit better. I mean, it's cleaner now since after I got it off and put the rags in it, I cleaned it up a bunch, or I cleaned down in this part and whatever. But yeah, before you pull this off, if you can remove any dirt, that's probably not a bad idea. So this thing is, I got all the bolts out now. So I'm gonna put that back. You wanna unclip this here. Let's see, yeah, this is a little squeeze. And I think, oh, there's this one too. You see this little hose here? How did I get that last time? Pretty sure it just, so yeah, I just poked around here, 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 Just kept poking it around and it slid right off. And I think this thing's ready to come out now. I'm not gonna do it on camera because I want it to be, I don't want there to be dirt falling in there, so. Bye. Okay, so I haven't loosened any of the brackets. Anyway, I pulled these things out and I have not loosened the back bracket. If you've never done this before, you're gonna have to loosen either these two or that one in the back, but I didn't because I cut this notch in here. Okay, so yeah, this is pretty much how far I got last time. I replaced this seal right here. I'm not sure. It's almost like it's too soon to tell. Like, I tried to clean it up pretty good. It doesn't seem to be leaking like it was. Hopefully it doesn't start leaking again. But yeah, I do feel like it's worth saying again, if you've never done this before, you're gonna have to loosen either this bracket here. Again, you know, there's your two holes that your studs go into, and I already showed you before, that's the bolt. You probably will have two. There's supposed to be another nut on there. It's 13 millimeter, but if you crack that nut, this thing will be able to cradle back and forth. Yeah, and it's really hard the first time if you don't know what you're doing. I removed these. I did not loosen that up the first time I pulled this off. I took these ones off, and I kind of wish I had tried to go for that back one. It kind of seems easier than getting, you know, once you get this coolant out of the way, you can get your arm back. You know, you can see it. I mean, that one down there, you can't even really see it. So, but anyways, this is as far as I got last time, except for this one part here. So yeah, the video is not going to be as good after this part because now we're getting into unknown territory. I actually have to go watch a video myself to prepare because, yeah, I want to get in there. I want to get under here, and I'm going to go watch a video, and then I'm going to get under there. So I'll be back. Oh, I got something. So one of these I accidentally vacuumed up this thing, and then when I was putting it in, I was like, I wonder if you're supposed to put oil on those things or not. I don't know. In one of the videos I watched, I'm not sure that they did. You know, maybe they did it off camera. I don't know. But yeah, when I washed it off, I put oil on it because I don't know. I just thought that's what you do with a gasket in a car. But anyways, yeah, I have to go watch a video because I don't know what I'm doing after this part. So yeah, when I jack this thing up, you know, your first instinct is like, oh, well, I can jack from there, but I found this is better because you want your lever outside from underneath the car if you can, and then you can put these jack stands under there, and even if you got small jack stands, you should be able to do what you need to do or whatever. Anyways, we're gonna try to drain the coolant, and right there's this bolt. It looks like it's a 15 millimeter. Well, I did test it. It seems like that will work. I haven't pulled it yet. And then there's a few more up there that are 10 millimeter. 15. Actually, this is an 8. There should be one here, but there's something else here. Another one here. And there's one up here somewhere. I don't know if it's 8 or not. Where'd you go? Oh. It's actually right. There we go. It's actually right there. Just see if I can get that. Okay, I think there's one more. I think this is gonna get it off. Oh. Can't get in there. Alright, so I've removed like a few of these types of clamps at this point. I got this one to kind of pop up with this. I've been removing them with like a cutting tool actually, and it's totally not. This one's big enough that you could probably figure something else out. Yeah, I think it's gonna break off here. Damn you. There it is. Alright, I got both those things off. So let's see what happens here. There we go. There we go. Yes. Uh-oh. Yep, right, getting a little drippy here. She's gonna come. Yeah, it looks like the hose diameter is 1 1/4. All right, here we go. You like that? That's a big old bin. It's twisting. Looks like poopy water. Alright, take this cap off. Oh! Hey, like that. Just whacked my head on the garage door. Seems to be coming pretty good. Not a very nice color though. Alright, that's enough of that. So yeah, if you didn't know, there's a coolant thing here. This is a bleeder valve. I didn't know that. There's also a bleeder valve. Where is it? It's right here. I messed around with them a little bit while they're full, but maybe I'll crack it and see if it... Doesn't really sound like it's doing anything, but yeah, that's there. So yeah, it took a while for this to all come out, even with everything open. So I popped that back on there. Now I'm gonna go. Let's close it all up. So yeah, there's this one right here. Close it. It's closed. Now there's this one here. It's closed. And close this one too. So yeah, all my little red tabs are missing on mine. And I thought they would just pop off, but you still need to press on this thing. I don't know if I don't know. These two came out just by, just by pressing on that. They pull out. This one's not wanting to, so I'm gonna do it off camera. Okay, so yeah, I covered these up because I'm not sure how long this has taken me. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm doing. It's probably totally unnecessary, but all right. I just popped this one. I popped this one. That's how these are popping out. Seems like you gotta squeeze right below the. If you squeeze right below that red thing, it should come out. There it is. Oh, maybe not. There it went. Let's see if we can. Oh, I gotta pull these things. Bad news. We broke a little clippy. Okay, so I got that thing to pop. And I couldn't get the other one to pull off. I found that this did work. Someone just had posted about it. So you press on this black part here. I just did it on the other one by pressing on this black part. So let's see if I can get it to do it on camera. I don't know if I'll be able to get it on camera. It's kind of a pain in the back there. Come on. I don't know. I'm probably just not gonna do it on camera, but that's how I got this one over here to pop. It was stuck. Well, I sprayed some cleaner on it and then it came off. Okay, so I squeezed it with this little guy and it came out. I just squeezed it like this. Well, it was better than that, but that's how it came out. So yeah, they're all out now. This thing really helped. It made it super easy to grab those things. It's a super tiny channel locks. And then yeah, I use this to pop the, depending on where you're coming from, to pop these things. This one maybe got killed. I don't know. But whatever, they didn't snap like these ones down here when I did this. They totally snapped off. Oh, yeah, anyway. All right, so after I got all those all this off. I had to take this thing off. You squeeze this tab on the bottom, and this is the one on top. Here's the nipple that it was on. I went I tried a bunch of tools, I couldn't get it, and I just used a pick to press up from the bottom and push it in with my finger from the top. And then I stabbed myself with it. It came off, but I stabbed myself while it came off. So, safety first, be careful, wear gloves. Most of the time when you're bleeding, it's because you were not wearing gloves. Anyways, this thing got it off. Then it looks like there are 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8mm bolts. This thing feels loose. I'm not going to pull it off camera because I want to be careful. But yeah, I'll show you after. Also, someone said there's a clip here. Mine's broken, and I think there's another clip down here. I mean, that doesn't look too complicated. I'm not even sure if I have to take it off or if it's even. I guess it kind of feels like it's still attached. I'll probably have to pop that too. Yeah, that thing was very. I used this to get in there and pop it out. I couldn't get in there another. So basically, these are just some photos that I took before pulling the oil cooler off, and yeah, I thought I would see a big puddle of oil the further down I got, and it turns out there wasn't one. It looks like it may have been leaking. I decided to go ahead and swap the oil cooler anyway, even though I'm not even 100% certain that I needed to. I think I talk about it a little bit in the next clip. Alright, you guys, so it was the weekend. It was kind of cold. I didn't work on this that much. I pretty much didn't record just like the messy part. Like, there was no puddle of oil down here. There was a ton of grime. There's enough grime that if you stuck a zip tie down there, that it came out wet. And there was no puddle. But yeah, cleaning that out, it was really bad. It was not any fun at all. Yeah, I don't know. I saw someone painted this yellow so they could see if oil was overflowing. Yeah. And as far as people are like, oh, I always throw rags in there. With how hard it was to clean this in this particular situation, I would definitely tape them. Because yeah, it was really hard to clean this crack out. I wish I would have taken some before pictures, but yeah, when I pulled it out, it just started making such a mess that I didn't really even think about recording. So, but yeah, I don't know, there's some of these wires, there's like a wire clip here, these things both broke. And the one over here, there's 2. And I don't know, different fluids. And when I pulled this out, a bunch of stuff went down here, a bunch of like red sealant. I don't know what it was, but yeah, it was really hard to like keep these covered and keep stuff from going in there that shouldn't go in there. So if you're pulling this out, I don't know what I would even have done differently besides, I guess maybe I would have made sure that everything was disconnected. I probably could have disconnected this thing before I pulled it out so that I could have just like pulled it right out of there. Instead, I was like, I don't know, trying to disconnect it to pull it out after it was making all this mess in here, I guess it would have been nice to have just had it all disconnected and pulled it right out, and it probably would have stopped some stuff from going in these holes. But yeah, I just used like one of those dishwashing, what are they called? One second. Just used this thing with brake cleaner pretty much to get all that out, and then after it was dry, I just stuck I blew it out with the air compressor, and that's why I would recommend using the tape, because you can start, if you're really trying to get it clean in there, you can, you know, hit it with the air compressor and the stuff will be covered up. I forgot to cover this up at first, so I don't know how worried I should be about stuff getting in that hole. But anyways, the new part came. I don't know. I mean, I was kind of worried about these seals because they're like have that double ridge, but that's what some of the other seals have that too. And I don't know. I mean, this thing looks fine, I guess. Hopefully, it doesn't leak. We will find out. You know, there's a couple things. It's like, you know, that's not the prettiest, but yeah, this was the cheapest one. The cheapest part on Amazon that they had. There was one that even had like, oh, most popular seller. I bought the one that was $1 less. Just to see, and it looks like these plugs are gonna fit. I haven't actually test fitted them. I'm going to before I put it in, just to make sure, because some people are like, oh, some of these plugs are different. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. What else would I do differently? I don't know. Maybe drain some of the oil. I did drain the coolant. I think I took a video of that, but probably would have drained some of the oil too. Because, yeah, it did make a huge mess in there. And, yeah, some of these things fell down the hole. Oh, I cleaned these things out too. I'm just going to show you one for right now. I messed around with this thing, so you can turn and you can watch these valves here. Got pretty, let's see, they were pretty suited up. God, this battery's dying. But yeah, I got them clean, and by making sure they were closed and sticking the vacuum and blowing them out and whatnot. Yeah, it was basically a lot of work, probably totally unnecessary. Probably didn't need to do that at all. But I don't know, I just, whatever, so I was in there. Hopefully I won't be in here again. Yeah. I don't know, I guess I'm gonna start putting it in, so bye. Okay, on this first picture here, you can see the O-ring on the left side. It looks like there's a lot of dark stuff on there. Maybe there was a slow leak there. I also included a picture of where I got the part. And yeah, I wanted to take some pictures of the part and the numbers on there. Just to see how it holds up for a year, I guess, and so that this part is documented. Okay, so while I was getting, you know, just like lubing up the bolts, lubing up all the O-rings on the bottom, I decided to look in here, and I looked at these, and they are bone dry, and I don't know, I'm pretty sure you don't, like, I feel like that coating is a good thing. And I can't get these off. I don't even know if they come off. It might have just been part of the machining process. I don't know. But yeah, these were totally dry. There's no lube on them. There's a little bit of lube on the oil filter, but yeah, so I'm gonna lube those up. All right, so after taking the tape off these things, I was like fucking around with that other part, and it totally put oil everywhere again. But yeah, I'm just kind of getting these seal spots ready. Getting them moist. Just putting oil over all these gasket areas so that hopefully she doesn't leak. All right, so I had to move I think it's the oil temperature, pressure checker sensor thing. Anyways, this one didn't fit. I thought it would, and it totally did not. So I'm preparing myself to put this in here for like the third fucking time now by, you know, getting these things wet. And yeah, I pulled the tape off a long time ago, and it spewed up into my car. And basically just make sure you check everything before you pull your tape off your holes, and I don't know, just make sure that everything fits so you're actually ready to put it in. Like, you know everything's gonna work when you go to put it in. Otherwise you're like trying to put it in, pull it back out, getting dirt in your holes. It's, yeah. So some bad shit has happened. It's like I'm like trying to put it in and it won't go in. Yeah, my phone battery keeps dying, but yeah, it just will not. At first I thought these screws were too short, but it's not. It's this thing is just not, it's not going in. This tube, right? This tube, it doesn't fit. Fuck. I'm gonna try a little bit longer, but I do not think it's gonna fit. I really don't. Well, I pulled this O-ring off, and it totally fits after that. So what I did about that O-ring not fitting is I just had to start the bolts on the left side. I used that same O-ring. It was slightly bigger than what was on the old one, but yeah, I just started on the left side, and then I just followed the bolt tightening pattern after it was started that you can find somewhere else. There's plenty of examples of it online. So yeah, I don't know. I spent like the last hour fucking cleaning this. I think you want to make sure not to get debris over these injectors. But yeah, I spent a bunch of time cleaning out these holes and cleaning out the areas that the seals go in. I'm about ready to put it in. Yeah, I mean, everything seems tight. I think it's back where it was. But yeah, see there. These were pretty dirty too. I cleaned them out. But yeah, it took a long time to clean this thing. And yeah, I haven't even put the seals on the top. I kept the old ones. And yeah, I just use this stuff and a bunch of fucking shit. And yeah, and these things were getting kind of rusty, so I just filled them up with lube. But yeah, I think it's ready to go on. Yeah, because of this tab here, you want to put this end in first, like scoop it down and then. And yeah, you probably want these things, if you pull them up, then they stay up. You probably want that putting it in. I pulled all mine up. All right, got things put back together. I mean, it's pretty much just like taking it apart, so I didn't record it. Yeah, it went together a lot easier than it came apart. I'm gonna look at this spot. I'm pretty sure this thing needs a PCV valve because there was like a pool of oil in the intake, so I'm probably gonna go for that right now. Okay, so never done this before, so I didn't record it, but basically this thing, this wire here is sitting on top. There's the PCV valve right there. And this thing's sitting on top of it. And this thing is underneath. It's like sitting in here with this quantum bracket in the way. But yeah, it's like sitting under that like that. And you gotta loosen this thing up. It just pops right off. I thought it looked more complicated than that. And then, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna require a special tool for that. By that, I mean, I have this thing. Just, I think it's T25. I don't know for sure yet, but I think it's T25. And yeah, so we'll see. Okay, so yeah, I'm not sure what I recorded earlier, but I got that thing off. This is what I use, T25. Let's see. Let's see if you can see in there. This is what it looks like when you get it off. See, there's your 1 bolt, and then the other one is right up top there. And it's really not that hard to get to. So here's the thing. They said if you blow on it, that it should stop air in one direction, and I tried blowing on both of these. This one was pretty difficult, but I managed. It's big. But yeah, I blew on it, and air is going through both ways. So I don't know if that means it's broken, but that's what some people have said. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is one way. Just blows straight through both directions. So I think it's bad. SMP, whatever the fuck that means. Anyways, a new one should be here tomorrow, so hopefully this thing will be back together tomorrow. Bye. Alright, so the new part is here. Gave it the blow test. Both directions. It seems to work pretty much like the other one. The other one might have made more noise. I just put it in here for the night, just so moisture wouldn't get in there. But I'll wipe it off. So yeah, if you listen, here's the new one. They sound about the same. Maybe this one's totally fine still. Yeah, I guess the reason why, oh, I'll do the other end too. This is the other one. So I don't know, I'm guessing that this thing is still good. I don't know, they sound about the same. Maybe not. I mean, it looks, let's see if I can get in some more light. The reason why I am looking at this is because there is quite a bit of oil in the intake, and I had read that it might have to do with this thing, so I don't know, it's not that much. The coupon, this is like 26 bucks. It's a Dorman. There are some cheaper ones, but this one came next day, and I'm wanting to get this thing back together, so yeah, I will go ahead and install it. I have applied a light coil of oil to the O-ring. and the outer thing. All right, at first, just like the last part, at first the part didn't feel like it fit correctly, but after you get it actually seated in there, get it? Right there. It does feel correct. At first it didn't though. All right, so 8mm wrenches, and then I just tightened it up, hand tight, plus you know, a little twist, and yeah, then this hose goes back on there, and then this clips on top. This thing goes on. Let's see if I can get it, but I was messing with it just a little bit ago. There we go. That's on there. This is, and this slides on here like this. Then I'll have to tighten this. These brackets up here are tight, so I'll tighten that after. All right, you guys, so this is the second time that I've done this. I've put this upper plenum on while the back bracket was still loose. Normally, I loosened it because I had to get to that PCV valve, but this is the second time I've done this. It's pretty annoying. So yeah, don't do that. Make sure that thing's right. That back bracket is right before you put this on. Bye. All right, you guys. So I put this thing back together. Got this thing hose clamped up. And yeah, all this stuff is back together. So, I went for this coolant, where is it? It's right here. That screw right there. It's a coolant bleeder valve. There's one up here too. I've opened them both up. I don't know how to do this, but I think what you do is you just pour the coolant into here until it starts coming out this, and then you close it, and then my guess is keep pouring in there. I don't know, I've never done it, but that's what I'm gonna go for. All right, so I poured a couple of these things. They're like 3/4 full, and it did just get in there, and yeah, eventually it did start coming out of that screw. You can see a little spillage, but yeah, I went ahead and tightened that up, so we'll see what happens next. Yeah, so I started it up, drained the coolant again, putting a little oil in there. I put in about that much of some oil we had around. If this thing doesn't leak, I'm going to do an oil change pretty soon. Also, the thing I was using to crank on I forgot to take that off, which is pretty stupid, but hopefully it'll be fine. Yeah, so I guess I'm just going to keep on starting it and adding fluids as needed. Yeah, basically numerous stupid mistakes sewing this together because I wanted to start driving it. But yeah, if you put a funnel in here, it might fall down here. Thankfully, my fan hasn't turned on, but also I forgot to hook this back up. I'm not sure what that is, but... And what else? Yeah, like I said, that wrench. Yeah, I don't know. You got to be careful putting them. It goes together so easy compared to messing around with it, but then you get in a hurry and make mistakes. So, but sounds good. Everything seems to be going good. No, I don't think anything's in here yet, really, but keep you updated. All right, so after a couple test drives, short ones, it looks like, if you look down there, it looks like it's still, you can't see it on camera like at all, but if you look down there, which which I can actually see now that it's clean. There isn't a pool of oil. Even though it's all wet under my car, it looks like it's leaking. But this is went back down to the min line. Put more in there. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep on filling it up and taking it for some test drives to make sure this thing doesn't leak. Also, for the coolant, I'm just going off color. I've put all yellow. We have a shit ton of coolant. I don't think that stuff is bad. I think I just mixed 2 colors, but I just put all new yellow and a couple different kinds. There's all this jargon about different kinds of coolant, and I'm guessing maybe it doesn't even matter. All right, so that's the end of the video. A couple mistakes that I made on this job that I wanted to talk about is I had read a comment that said, "Don't do something stupid with a torque wrench," and if you don't use them all the time, yeah, that's definitely possible. There's foot pounds and inch pounds. Unless you use a torque wrench regularly, it's pretty easy to mix that up, especially if you're, yeah, just basically if you're not using that thing all the time, mixing that up once is a very easy mistake to make. So make sure you really pay attention to if the spec is given in foot pounds or inch pounds. In one of the really high quality videos was actually Motor City Mechanics. He gave the torque specs for the lower intake. He gave it in inch pounds excuse me, I can't remember, but he basically, one of the torque specs they give, the first one is in foot pounds, and then the second torque spec they give is in inch pounds. And yeah, basically, if you're not paying attention or you're not very experienced with a torque wrench, you might totally miss that. And then something that takes 60 inch pounds of torque, you're trying to torque it to 60 foot pounds, and basically, yeah, you really need to pay attention to if it's being in inch or feet. It's a super easy mistake. I did make that mistake on the lower intake, and thankfully it seems like everything's fine. But you really got to pay attention to that. And yeah, I even after someone telling me don't go do something stupid with a torque wrench, I still made the mistake. Now that I've made the mistake, I'm sure I'm gonna be paying attention to it for a while or whatever. It's probably not gonna happen. Sometimes you just have to make a mistake before you really pay attention to it. Anyways, what else? Yeah, I guess the other mistakes were mostly made when I was putting it together, because eventually you just get sick of it being apart and you're like, oh, I want to put it together, but I don't know. Yeah, you got to pay attention when you're putting it together. I'm trying to think if there's any other mistakes. I guess another thing worth noting is I probably, if it wasn't for the advice of a local mechanic, I definitely would have just went for the seals. That might be worth trying. One of the other reasons that swayed that decision was my lower intake seals looked very old. So this kit came with new lower intake seals. So, I think it was $60. I got all new intake seals and the oil filter, everything. So the cost difference between buying those seals separate, it wasn't very much. But yeah, it seems to be working. I still have the oil leak. I'm gonna make a video on finding out where that's coming from. I've been under there cleaning it off and examining it. So if that's something you want to watch, I'm sure there'll be a video on that. And if you actually watch this insanely boring video, thank you for watching. And yeah, have a good one.